macro-oriented and defensive, and a player who is very standard. We are jumping into Nice versus ShoWTimE, and we are kicking it off here on Cosmic Sapphire. We're in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner, hailing from the land of Taiwan, representing Good Game Gaming. GGG. He is Nice.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Cosmic Sapphire ESL, we have the German Protoss player himself. He is red, representing Team Big, B-I-G. It is ShoWTimE.
Finally, we get the G teams.
We do. We got some Kaizi gaming earlier. To be fair. But I did want to touch on something that you just mentioned, and that is that we are here in our first PvP of Valencia. We did our best to...
It's good to be home.
We did our best to avoid them. For those who don't know, there's a little bit of a meme in the Cranky Ducklings, because whenever we cast these events, we just get stuck with nothing but PvPs. We've even had a couple of broadcast days, like 10+ hour days, where it's just been nothing but PvPs. We got kind of lucky this time, but now that luck has run out.
Yeah. We had one day where we had two separate broadcasts. Yeah. One of them was an event, one of them was a qualifier, and both of them were nothing but PvPs.
Yeah. That has happened. Aye. But, you know, as you were saying, it's good to be home. It's refreshing to see a matchup that we haven't been able to cast yet here in Valencia. The mirror matchups, I think this is actually our first mirror matchup, to be fair.
Yeah, actually, we almost got a CVC. But then Rainer off race. And also we didn't cover that.
we chose not to cover it as well.
We were tempted, but yeah, we didn't do that in the end.
Yeah, we followed Miyomaika's run yesterday instead. But we'll see how this turns out here, as we do have that kind of dichotomy of Europe versus Taiwan, two different metas, two different regions colliding here, and two of some of the best that both regions have to offer.
Oh yeah, pretty much. I don't think there's any real dispute here when it comes to the best Protoss player in EU, with MaxPax taking a little bit of hiatus. It pretty much is going to be ShoWTimE, whereas the best Protoss player from Taiwan, there are many Protoss players in Taiwan, but right now it is Nice, as he's proven by winning his region.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Haas may have a little bit more notoriety, but Nice has proven season after season for the past over a year now, I think, that he is quite solidly one of the best, if not the best, Protoss player in all of Taiwan. And we'll see how he does. When it comes to the openers, both players did open up with double Stalker, so, I mean, relatively standard openers here. You know, they want to shut down any kind of adept pressure coming across the map. What's interesting is that neither one of them really strayed too far out. It is a large map, and the last thing you want is for some of these Stalkers to be caught out.
Yeah. It's, you don't want to have that snowball effect. We were talking a lot about it because we casted a couple of PVTs and a couple of PVZs last night. Losing your Stalkers early on has a knock-on effect as the game continues. Take that, but double it in a mirror matchup.
Exactly. Your units are so valuable here. And we do have a little bit of a divergence. Nice, he prioritized his second wave of Stalkers. ShoWTimE got a faster Stargate, so his Oracle is going to be zooming out across the map. Nice's Oracle is a little bit later as a result.
Yeah, and at the same time, because Nice pushed out across the map, he's not really gonna have those Stalkers used defensively. Little bit of a miscontrol here by ShoWTimE.
Yeah. And just like that, Nice came out a little bit ahead in the engagement, but ShoWTimE was forced to turn around with his Oracle. And I think this is kind of a win for Nice overall, because even though ShoWTimE got a faster Oracle, it was forced to stay at home and it was forced to waste its energy.
Yeah, and a couple of those Stalkers were dealt with. Thankfully, ShoWTimE was able to warp in a couple more, so yeah, Nice is going to have trouble getting damage done with his own Oracle.
Exactly. Meanwhile, yeah, and ShoWTimE, he chronoed out a second Oracle, so he still intends to deal some damage. Same can be said for Nice. Both players kind of very much so mirroring each other here in this game so far. The Oracles are looking to find a way in, but we do have a couple of Stalkers at the natural already.
At the natural, but not in the main. These Oracles have no fear. They know they can one-shot these probes, so they just dip in, take a little bit of damage, and then dip out, but still alive. The same cannot be said for Nice's Oracle, though.
Exactly, they both deal equalizing damage to each other, 4 probes for 4 probes, but Nice loses one of his oracles and ShoWTimE still keeps both of his own alive.
Yeah, they're slowly going to be rebuilding their energy and dip in once more into the main base, which is actually pretty exposed here on Cosmic Sapphire.
Yeah, there's a lot of dead space here. Nice is being a little bit greedy by not throwing down a shield battery. To be fair, a shield battery won't really help against 2 oracles, so he's relying a lot more on his stalkers instead. Forced to stay here back at home, forced to turtle up a little bit more. ShoWTimE has a little bit more freedom to be active, and with that freedom, he does move out with a couple of stalkers.
May as well. Still has the minimum that he needs back at home to be able to defend against these oracles, and other than that, yeah, we're slowing things down a little bit as our players diverge into tech paths. Nice. Gonna be the first one to grab a robo facility.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Does go for that robo in the end. So gonna be mixing things up a little bit more. Both players are still working towards their blinks. Both players are working towards their third bases. And yeah, we'll see kind of how they diverge when it comes to their overall army compositions. I don't see Nice going for, like, say, a fast robotics bay into fast disruptors, but like, because he knows that he doesn't have as much map control, he may just look to build on an immortal count a little bit faster, potentially.
Yeah, he really has 2 options here. He can go for Blink Disruptor, which, like you said, is a little bit it's expensive for one, and also it's little bit unreliable against a player like ShoWTimE, who has some really good unit control, especially with stalkers. Or you can get Immortals, which aren't as devastating, but they're a lot more reliable. And they can tank a lot of shots.
And I'm really worried because right now ShoWTimE does have the Stalker advantage. He's going to be moving out here towards that third base location. He just straight up has more numbers. Nice has to respect this. With the shield battery, he can fight back, and he's going to try and warp in here. But he has to be a little bit careful with how he fights.
Yeah, with a shield battery he could, but ShoWTimE has recognized that as well and immediately snipes the shield batteries. Blink control is being stretched here by both players. It's much more important for Nice to keep his own stalkers alive, but the number advantage for ShoWTimE is really starting to show.
Yeah, exactly.
This time.
He's breaking through towards his third base location. Does get a lot of damage already at that next side. At the same time, the Oracle's looking to dive in and deal a little bit more damage. And Nice is being pulled apart, and he has to give up the third.
Yeah, like so. He's doing whatever he can to also try to slow down ShoWTimE's economy, but it's not really working out for him. He built the robo facility early on, and with that, he was hoping that, he would have some time to build that Immortal Cup, but he can't. Yeah, he's supply blocked right now. ShoWTimE also recognized, wait a minute, if you're transitioning your tech, you're not building gateway units. So I'm just going to pounce on top of everything.
Yeah, exactly. ShoWTimE just containing his opponent to 2 bases right now. And Nice is honestly kind of falling apart a little bit here. Finally, that first Immortal is on the way, but we needed those earlier. That would have really made up for his Stalker deficit, for his overall deficit in general. But he delayed it by so much. He got an Observer first. He's trying to be a little bit aggressive across the map. And hey, he's going to deal some economic damage, but he's down an entire base.
Yeah, he's kinda evening out the worker count. Well, not anymore. He's pretty much lost all harassment tools that he had, but he has the Immortal out now.
Yeah, he does have the Immortal, and with that, he can now take a more head-on engagement. At the same time, though, ShoWTimE, he keeps on dipping in, deals a little bit more damage. 3 more probes go down, and Nice does delay his third base a little bit by going for a faster robotic spade, going for double robo production even.
I like this. He needs to take a bit of a leap of faith, and what more of a leap can you get than Disruptors?
Yeah, I'm worried though, because I 100% agree with you. I do think that this is a great way to come back into this game. It's risky, but you need to take a risk right now if you're Nice. ShoWTimE, he just scouted with his Oracle. He saw the second robo. He saw the robotic spade. He knows, you're spending a lot of money on your tech right now. I just have to hit you, and you just won't have enough to defend. Or will he with the Immortals?
Depends on how well ShoWTimE's able to control his army. He's also getting ready behind us. He knows exactly what's coming his way, so I appreciate that he's going for charge lots as a bit of a transition out of this. Your charge lots, they can get on top of those Disruptors, those Purification Novas are just not gonna land, ever.
Yeah, there's a window here before the Disruptor count gets out of control where ShoWTimE can still abuse his superior economy and supply. But that window is slowly closing, so he's got to do something soon. Already chipping away at that third base, but the army is going to force him back as well. And yeah, Nice is kind of getting away with this. Kind of. Again, with enough Disruptors, yeah, he can make up for the 50 supply deficit.
Yeah, he needs some juicy connection still.
Yeah.
He needs the big booms.
That's what he's going to be looking for. Meanwhile, I think what's a bit of a shame is that, actually, sorry, did he cancel? He's canceled the second robo.
Huh. Huh.
He was making it, right? I'm not crazy. He was right here, right?
He was making a second robo.
Yeah,
he was. I guess he's realized that he's not really in the right economic position to sustain that production, but yeah, I mean, alright, I guess this makes sense.
Yeah, so I guess he canceled it just to make up for his supply a little bit more, just to warp in a couple more Stalkers and be a little bit more defensive. I mean, in the end, it is going to work out for him. It does mean that he won't have as many Disruptors as we would have liked, and now he's being pulled apart right now. ShoWTimE making use of his massive supply lead.
Yeah, he warps into the main, I think. No, actually, I think he just blinked straight into the main, yeah! Did not even realize he still had that Oracle up and running.
Speaking of warping in, Warpism goes in. Ooh, it's going to be left a little bit idle, so Nice is going to be able to shut it down, but at the same time, ShoWTimE goes in and almost gets a snipe on the Disruptor.
Yeah, almost, but the battery overcharge is working overtime. Very careful blink away right at the end there for ShoWTimE. And with this, Nice is backed into a corner. I don't see a way out of this.
Yeah, he's waiting for another wave of those Disruptors, of those Purification Novas, but they're not going to arrive. They do get focused down. ShoWTimE just blinks on forward, and there just isn't enough here to defend. Nice, he was just so far behind from the earlier game, and GG gets called.
ShoWTimE into game number 1.
Honestly, a pretty commanding fashion.
Yeah, a little good. Again, kind of ShoWTimE doing what ShoWTimE does best. Solid, reactive, defensive play. Well, not super defensive, but, you know, he was still, you know, he was just reacting. He didn't take any unnecessary risks on engagements. He just saw an opportunity and he went for it.
It was just solid, mate.
Just solid.
Just, you know, a couple of slight advantages in the early game really did snowball. We saw how much of a difference 3 Stalkers can make, especially in a Stalker versus Stalker battle at that third. And with that, as soon as Nice lost his third, like, he just couldn't really recover from that position. In a mirror matchup, like, you can't do that. Disruptors are a great way to come back, but we saw that not a single Nova landed. He really needed that to happen.
Yeah, really did. You know, there's a universe out there where those Novas did land, and we're still casting that game, you know. It elongated a little bit, but ShoWTimE, in this timeline, in this universe, he is very solid, and he doesn't, you know, he doesn't take unfavorable engagements like that.
Exactly. Oh, boy. And now, here we go. We're getting ready for game numero 2.
Indeed, we are. We are here on Data C for game number 2. We're in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, swatting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. We have our red Protoss player coming down all the way from the land of the Deutsch, Germany. He's going to be representing Berlin International Gaming, I think is the full thing, but the acronym is BIG. Although he's not Gabe, he is ShoWTimE.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Data C, we have the Taiwanese Protoss player himself. He is blue, representing Good Game Gaming. GGG. It is Nice.
Kind of the lawful good Protoss player is how I would describe him, but only when compared to his contemporaries in Taiwan. He is still influenced a little bit by the madness of Haas.
Yeah, compared to Haas and compared to Bud Always, Nice is the more standard player amongst the 3 of them in Taiwan. But, you know, compared to some of the other players in the international scene, you know, ShoWTimE is really what people look at as kind of the replacement for Stats in a way. You know, Stats, he was, in his own way, the wall, the shield of ire, if you will. now that Stats is gone, ShoWTimE is... someone's got to take that mantle.
Yeah. It's got to see ShoWTimE stepping up to it.
Exactly. Meanwhile, so far, we do see that ShoWTimE, or both players, to be fair, actually did go for their gate expand openers, did go for the low ground wall, because we do have that ramp on Day to C, and now both players are doing their best to delay their expansions.
Yeah, already nice, being a little annoying with that pylon block. ShoWTimE looking to reciprocate. There we go.
And Pylon gets thrown down. Meanwhile, Nice, he did cancel and rebuild said Pylon, forces ShoWTimE to pump out that Zealot. And I imagine, no, Nice is going to be... Okay, he moved out with his Zealot. He does turn around and come back, and is also forced to make his own.
Yeah, cancels right at the end there, so both players will get their expansions at roughly the same time, I imagine.
Oh my god.
Yeah. This one probe, I can't believe it's still alive.
Yeah, the probe is still being incredibly annoying. ShoWTimE kind of came to, like, accepted the fact that his Nexus was going to be a little bit late, so he went for a faster Stargate. So just like the previous game, his own Oracle is going to be a little bit faster compared to that of Nice. It took him a lot longer to throw down his own.
Yeah, so this is going to affect him quite a bit as the game goes on. ShoWTimE... they're both doing pretty much the same thing, but ShoWTimE is just hitting his checkpoints way quicker. He's already got the Oracle out halfway done, the Phoenix of Nice only now beginning.
Yeah, I mean, Nice does recognize that his own Stargate timing was delayed compared to his opponents because he did have a probe here just patrolling around. So I do appreciate that he's going for a Phoenix first. Hopefully it's going to be in position. You know, ideally it's here to shut down this Oracle before it deals too much damage, or any damage really.
Yeah, I can't imagine this Oracle will get too much damage done. There is a shield battery already being produced over there. It's Nice being very aggressive with his initial gateway units.
Oh, yeah, he goes immediately across the map. Meanwhile, Nice also intercepts that Oracle as well, shutting down the aggression of ShoWTimE and trying to break on through, but with the power of the shield battery, ShoWTimE back at home, he is fine, or should be fine. Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's fine.
Ooh. Yeah, Nice miscalculating a little bit there. Will lose one of his Stalkers, so a little bit of a loss early on. He also lost his initial Zealot as well, but he does have the map control with his Phoenixes, and he can make up for that, right? He can harass across the map once that Phoenix count gets a little bit higher. Or even now.
And it's getting higher, yeah. 3 already out, 2 in position. A 4th on the way. And he gets a little bit of damage here, you know, equalizes or reduces the worker deficit that he once had. He is looking to do a whole lot more than that, though.
Yeah, exactly. He is going to be picking up one of those Stalkers. He's going to get a second as well. I don't think he has enough DPS to really focus it down, especially with these reinforcements. He's going to try, though. Oh.
And he almost was able to get a second, but not quite. And ordinarily, you know, I would say shaving off the Stalker count, it's a good thing to do, but I feel like Nice definitely gave up a lot of other harassment targets to do that.
Yeah, you could argue that maybe he could have gotten a couple more workers instead. It did waste a lot of time trying to get that Stalker in the end. What's interesting is that Nice is finally, he's finally let up on that Phoenix production. 5 in total is all he has, which is kind of what you want. A little bit of friendly fire there. It's okay, it's okay.
He's just testing the structural integrity of the wall. He has a reputation to uphold as Demauer.
Yeah, and I kind of like this. Now that he has his 5 Phoenixes, he's going back into, or starting his own Oracle production.
Yeah, they definitely... Again, Oracles are a unit that have a lot of utility in them. If Nice wanted to double down on the aggression, then he could, you know, crowd control a couple of these Stalkers with his Phoenixes, let the Oracle go completely ham. He could use it for revelations, for scouting. He could use it to shore up his defenses with the stasis wards. Why aren't Oracles, like, promoted yet? They deserve a raise. They do so much.
You really love those Oracles. Oh, God. As 6 more probes do go down. What's important, though, is that in the midst of all of this, ShoWTimE's Stalker count has been getting higher and higher. The Stalker count of Nice is kind of in the gutter. He's got 2 Stalkers to work with right now. He does have a ground army large enough to defend his natural base, but what about that 3rd?
Yeah, well, we'll see if this Immortal is enough to really make up for the Stalker deficit. Forced to cancel that third base. And I like this. Luke the Immortal just to strike the fear into ShoWTimE.
Yeah, I appreciate it as well. You know, 2 Immortals are more than enough to defend here. Little does ShoWTimE know that there's only 1, not 2, so he's going to have to respect that. Does turn around and go back home, but what's important is that his third base was much faster. It's already up and running.
Yeah, he's already saturating. It's halfway done. Nice. His economy isn't looking too bad. He has a higher worker count, but he just can't quite take advantage of that yet.
Yeah, not yet. And
yeah, plus his army composition is more expensive than ShoWTimE's.
Yeah, ShoWTimE, he's just going for the mass gateway style for the time being, just like the previous game. To be fair, you know, Stalkers and soon to be Zealots +1 melees on the way. More probes are going down to this Oracle. Again, a little bit of a surprise to ShoWTimE because of that commitment into Phoenixes. Like, Nice has done a really good job at slowing down the economy. But I still do worry a little bit. Nah, okay, he should be fine here with the shield batteries, with the overcharge as well. I don't know if ShoWTimE can really break this defensive position, but he could just go into the main.
Yeah, he could just blink. There's an opportunity. And he decides to take it, but I can't imagine he's going to stay too long with these Stalkers. Takes out a pylon and, yeah, quits all. He's a... he doesn't blink away!
No!
Nice 6! He blinked away!
Oh my god,
the mind game.
Mate, ShoWTimE with the patience, with the mind games. He goes back in and snipes another one of those pylons. Oh my god. That was disgusting.
Never thought I'd live to hear the phrase ShoWTimE with the patience.
The actual patience, not the player
the
patience.
Actual patience, yeah, the actual patience, not the player.
Oh my god, that was a great cheeky move there from ShoWTimE.
Yeah.
Rotates back around, gets another couple of workers, and ShoWTimE, despite losing so many workers throughout the course of this game, I was a little bit afraid to look, but looking at the units lost tab, 16 probes have gone down. He has taken the worker lead.
Yeah, only by a little bit, but considering his 4th base is about halfway done, and he's gonna have quadruple Nexus production versus a 3 Nexus production of Nice. Yeah, it's gonna have a massive snowball effect as the rest of the game continues.
And yo, this cliff face, this area here is being so abused by ShoWTimE. He gets into the main base, he's gonna get 3-4 more probes, and if at any moment he feels a little bit too unsafe, he can blink and he can recall.
Yeah, I'm almost a little afraid to look at the units lost tab right now, like, cause I have to imagine that it's heavily in favor of Yep.
Yeah, it is. Again, despite losing workers, that's all he's really lost. I mean, I'm shocked to see that ShoWTimE has only lost a single Stalker this entire game. That's how crisp his unit control has been.
Plus, on the macro front, he's lost 16 workers throughout the course of this game, and he's still ahead by 8.
It's crazy. It's actually crazy. I mean, again, a lot of this is because he was so quick to take his 4th base as well, because he had the map control Nice, that much slower to expand and take this base, and we've seen how kind of abusable this location can be. ShoWTimE, he's on the way again. He is going to get spotted here by a scouting probe, so Nice is aware of the position of the army, and he moves everything over. Uh-oh.
But ShoWTimE has gotten to the point where he's comfortable splitting his forces up. Nice has to make a decision. How does he split up his own forces? And I'm not sure if this is how you want to do it. Actually, yeah, it's working out for him. Still forced to give up his 4th base, at least in that location, but he is still alive. And he does have some very powerful units backing him as well. The 5 Immortals, 4 Archons.
Yeah, that's something important to take note of, is that his army may be smaller, but oh my god, is it an army, right? It's very high-tech, very sophisticated, has a lot of firepower in it. Is it enough to break on through, as he's, like, I don't want to say he's all in, but that was a kill, not a cancel out of his 4th base. Like, he has to do damage. Yeah.
I didn't even recognize that. Yeah, Nice feeling a lot of pressure to push into this position, but it is a choke point, and that is absolutely where these Archons excel. The superior range of the Stalkers, though, is really starting to punish them, and once the Archons are gone, what is stopping the charge lots from getting on top of the rest of this army?
Yeah, exactly. Even though there's 5 Immortals, it doesn't feel like there's a lot to really protect them. The Archons are going down left and right, one after the other. These shields are being popped on the Immortals as well. With these force fields, it looks like Nice can hold on a little bit longer. He tries to warp in another wave of Archons.
ShoWTimE has just traded so efficiently, man. Recall gets popped, but not the entire army gets recalled with that. ShoWTimE chasing this retreat. There's a lot that he can still get done with an aggressive blink.
Exactly. Now he is chasing this army down as fast as possible. We do have a shield battery here to defend. I mean, with the reinforcements, it looks like maybe Nice can hold on to this base. But ShoWTimE, he doesn't care so much about pushing everything in. He's splitting up his army once again. We're going to hit the third and the fourth at the same time.
No matter what, Nice is going to lose a base.
Yeah, damage is gonna be done here. The cannon goes down a couple of workers at the same time. ShoWTimE dips all the way back in. Nice, he's not gonna lose too much though. Decent job at splitting up his army.
Yeah, the Archons, you know, are still threatening right now. You don't want to be fighting Archons head-on with Stalkers. You really want to be making use of blinks to try to kite them, and it's kind of difficult to do in that position. Meanwhile, here towards the north, ShoWTimE is reinforcing. He actually took a 5th base towards that location, so yeah, it's not just another mining base for him, it's also a way for him to reinforce. GG is called. ShoWTimE will take that series 2-0 and advance